What is up, Waffle Gang? My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some r/am I the butthole. It's bloody snowing out there at the minute, and it's April. What is going on? Last year, I was having a water fight with my nephews in the back garden. It popped up as a Facebook memory. I don't know. Anyway, if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. Going off on my waffle already, and let's just crack straight on with today's story because I've totally gone off on one. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Apprehensive Pop 363. Am I the arsehole for saying things my wife gives our infant in front of our child's doctor? My wife and I have a 2-month-old daughter. For the past month, she's been feeding our baby mashed potatoes, applesauce, sweet tea, assorted fruit juices, and other things. The last time we went to our doctor, our pediatrician told us not to give her anything but formula until she was between 4 to 6 months old. My wife does not care and says she knows best for our child, and our doctor isn't the parent. Our daughter is always constipated and screams for hours at night that my wife says is colic. I've asked her numerous times to stop feeding our infant table food and go back to giving her formula. She is only feeding her 1 or 2 bottles of formula while I'm at work. The other morning, she was cooking scrambled eggs and oatmeal, and I was off work, so I started making our daughter a bottle and feed her, and she stopped me and told me not to fill her up with that, and she wanted her to eat oatmeal first. I fed her the bottle anyway after a huge argument. Well, baby had a doctor's appointment, and my wife was talking about the colic and screaming fits, and when the doctor asked what she was feeding her, she only said formula, nothing else. I was angry because she lied and told her the pediatrician every single thing that she had been given her, and the doctor strongly recommended her to stop, and that she was causing stomach upset and more likely the reason for all her stomach issues. Instead of being apologetic for this, my wife is mad at me and told me I ratted her out to the doctor, and that she doesn't have to listen to her, and that it's only a recommendation, and that I made her look like a bad parent. I tell her what a selfish little twat she was being, and now she wants me to go stay with my parents until she forgives me and asks me to come home. Am I the arsehole here? I maybe shouldn't have flew mad at her and said some things I did. Maybe I should apologise to my wife. I think the question here is, why does a wife think it's right to lie to the doctor in the first place? Why is she lying to the doctor? Because she knows it's wrong. That's why. I remember my niece when she was younger, and she had she was screaming after having formula and stuff like that, and it was really bloating her out, and it did end up being colic in the end. And I remember the doctors always questioned mother about it and was like, are you sure you're not feeding anything they shouldn't be having, blah blah blah, and it went on for ages like this, and it was like no, and eventually they used this special formula that was meant for colic, and the issue was gone just like that overnight. It was amazing. Because no one likes to see a baby like that in distress, and what is mother doing? If doctor's suggesting that there's the food that's doing this, you don't carry on giving it the food. I mean, come on, man. And I don't want to get too deep on this one or anything, but PPD did pop into my head. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not going to go any further than that because, that's a reaching statement. It could be quite a big reaching statement, but I'm going to throw that one out there just in case. But Forever Pancake says, not the arsehole. What your wife is doing to your daughter can cause long-term damage to her digestive system. Not giving her formula can also contribute to her losing weight and not growing. I would suggest you talk to your pediatrician away from your wife to get her the full picture. It's abuse. Edit, because this is at the top, OP, I urge you to supervise every feeding. Your daughter can choke to death having food. She's not ready for having anything but milk. This is extremely serious. And LA Kings of Metal says, so she asks the doctor about the problem and then expects a magical cure when she lies about what she's feeding the baby. And also wants to reject the medical advice because she wants an expert. Do what's right for your child based on the advice of doctors. Your wife sounds way off base on this one. Not the arsehole. Edit to add, your wife knows she's wrong. Saying you ratted her out is telling to me. Not sure why she's putting the health of your child at risk to be the obstinate parent. And Pleasant Quantities 263 says, not the arsehole, but something is going on with your wife. Your daughter can't digest the food she's being given. Not only can it cause damage, but your daughter is literally screaming in pain from trying to digest it. I'm not a psychologist, but I've had a baby before. The first months of postpartum are very hard, and sometimes postpartum depression comes out in many ways. Paranoia, thinking everyone is out to get you and your baby. Rage at feeling that everyone else knows more than you, and other strange thoughts. The fact that your wife is lying to the doctor and knowing your daughter's pain and constipation is coming from being fed table food and juice is alarming. I would try and talk to her about why she thinks the food is better for the baby. Does she have something against formula? But I also think she needs someone to talk to and sort her feelings, see if postpartum depression is something she's struggling with and how to help right away. And Hot Wife says, not the arsehole, your wife is harming your child by doing this. I would be so very angry. Your pediatrician may call CPS about this if it doesn't stop immediately. I kinda hope they do. And one more from Eloise saying, she's absolutely right, you should leave. Make damn sure you take that poor baby with you. Not the arsehole. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you think's going on in this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from Pringles Bandit. Am I the arsehole for telling my boyfriend it's his fault he got into an accident? My boyfriend is a very aggressive driver. Whenever we're on the road, he's always bragging about how he's able to outmaneuver the traffic ahead, and just how does he achieve this? By driving very erratically and cutting in front of other drivers, or swerving across 4 lanes at once without signalling, or taking random, unnecessary, bumpy shortcut roads that save 2 minutes at most. There's been so many close calls, especially at night, that I prefer to just shut my eyes and grip the door handle for most of the journey because his driving makes me so anxious. It's worth noting that he doesn't necessarily speed, so the close calls would have been minor scrapes due to him cutting in people's lanes if they had happened. So he's not putting our lives in danger, just a car at risk of some very avoidable fender benders. I complained so many times and he says the way he drives is necessary because there's always crazy traffic, so it's either drive like that or crawl. So tonight, he was driving and there was some traffic as usual, but our turn was coming up on the right, so I expected him to just wait in the lane we were in. Instead, he swerves across a few lanes just to inch a little further, a little quicker, and then swerve back into the lane we were supposed to be in to make the turn, all in the space of a few minutes. While doing this, another car bumped into him and chipped the paint on his car, but there was no dent. He was livid and blaming the driver, but the driver wasn't having it, since he was clearly at fault. He expected me to back him up, but I didn't say a word the whole time, because I was very irritated myself. I told him to just be patient, but as usual, he didn't listen. I waited in the car while he settled with the other driver, and when he got back in, he was upset with me for not having his back. I told him that the other driver wasn't at fault, and he should have just waited. He said that the only reason we were out tonight was because I wanted to pick something up, so I was being extremely ungrateful since he was doing me a favour, and this wouldn't have happened if we weren't on the road tonight because of me. To which I said, it wouldn't have happened if you weren't driving like a effing lunatic. We rode back in silence, and he hasn't spoken to me since. Am I the arsehole? Now, I came into this one thinking this is definitely going to be a not the arsehole post, but as soon as I saw you sort of backing him up saying, you know, he's not putting anyone in danger, because he absolutely is, swerving across lanes. What if someone tail-ended him and then he swerved across traffic and took multiple people out, pedestrians, I don't know, anything could happen. So he's absolutely putting a lot of people at risk by doing what he's doing, driving like he is, so everyone sucks here for that. And Don't Take My Noise says, and quotes, he isn't putting lives in danger, and then says he absolutely fucking is. He's putting the lives of every single person on the road, including pedestrians on the sidewalk, in danger. Edit, I didn't give a judgment on this OP. Everyone sucks here for not chewing his ass out the first time you saw him drive like this. Grow a backbone. And It's Cold Out There Brr says, not the arsehole for not backing him. You're the arsehole for attempting to justify and minimize his dangerous and deadly actions. He will kill or severely injure another person or himself, destroying them and their families' lives. He doesn't need to exceed the speed limit to kill someone else, himself or you. Someone will die eventually. It's just luck no one has yet. And Julius049 says, not the arsehole, and please keep telling him that his driving is endangering people. And Few Bumblebee says, not the arsehole, I wouldn't get in the car with him anymore if I were you. He's going to end up hurting or killing someone. It's not a matter of if, only when. And Orange Star 17 says, everyone sucks here. My daughter is sitting next to me with her arm in a sling right now because of a broken collarbone, and it hurts for her to walk due to a badly bruised and swollen hip. You know why? Because we had a very bad car accident this last week, where a 19-year-old kid was speeding, paying no attention, and smashed hard into me. The kid ploughed us down with so much as a tap on his brakes. But you know how much he was speeding? Just 5 over the speed limit. It was enough, so that's your reason he's not necessarily speeding comment. I got the joy of seeing my daughter's slumped and still body in the car when I got to watch her have a seizure. I got to watch her scream and wail on the ground as they checked her over. So you know why you're the A also? Because the close calls could have been minor scrapes, and he's not putting our lives in danger. There's a millisecond between a close call and a dead person, and right now I feel slapped in the face by your comment. I'm happy to message you the pictures of my car from the accident, and I can show you where my daughter was unconscious. She's 14, but she's a tiny 95 pounds and barely 5 feet tall, a pixie, so she really got the brunt of it. Because cutting people off doesn't always just make minor scrapes, collisions don't always just have some bumper damage. Your man could cause people to die. Children are in these cars, babies, pregnant women, men, women, elderly grannies, dogs, many types of variations of people and animals who can die, and you minimized it. And I know I'm sensitive right now, but this really bugged me. And I think that just brings home the truth to everything that Opie was saying. You know, it causes a lot of damage being reckless driving. It only takes 5 miles an hour over the limit. It's absolutely crazy. But now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story is from Avahannes. Am I the arsehole for calling somebody a bad girlfriend? My friend has been dating this girl for 2 months. Recently, he got rejected by Stanford. This was huge to him. Just to make it clear, it was his dream school since he was 9, and he's worked his ass off all through high school to build the perfect resume. So when he got rejected, he was extremely upset. Anyhow, last night there was a huge party that was super hyped up. A kid at my school's parents were out. He's rich as fuck, so he had a huge mansion, open invite, you get the idea. My friend wasn't going because he wanted to take some time to get over his Stanford rejection. He asked his girlfriend and I to give him some company. I won't lie, I was looking forward to the party, but when your friend needs something, you need to be there for them. So I said yes. She on the other hand said sorry, but she didn't want to miss the party, and she could hang out with him later. I thought this was a dick move. It's a huge party, sure, but she should be there for him when he needs her. And I know she could hang out with him later, but consider how he'd feel knowing his own girlfriend would rather go to a party than support him when he needs her the most. I tried to persuade her to stay, but she said I was making her sound like a bad girlfriend, to which I said maybe she is, because I'm pretty sure being supportive of your partner is a pretty big component of being a good partner in a relationship, and going off to a party when your boyfriend is reeling from a huge rejection is the opposite of that. But this upset her, because she says she's a great girlfriend. Am I the arsehole? And we'll start with Brewery Bitch saying, you're the arsehole in my opinion. Honestly, your friend sounds like a bit of a drama queen, and she's probably sick of it. You want her to skip a party with friends that she's been looking forward to, so she can sit around and watch her boyfriend wallow in self-pity. Maybe I'm also an arsehole, because part of me thinks that anybody who's been putting off all their hopes on acceptance to a particular school since they were 9 years old will be healthier and happier in the long run by getting turned down. And haha, what a story says, you're the arsehole. First off, I'll say this, getting rejected by a very prestigious school that probably rejects most of its applicants is not some tragedy. Yeah, it's a bummer, but come on, being super down in the dumps about it is like whining about how you didn't win the lottery or something. A death or serious illness of a close friend or family member would have been one thing, but this is just melodramatic. No, the entire world does not have to stop, and someone's girlfriend doesn't have to drop everything and throw a pity party because they didn't get something big they wanted. And Michael says everyone sucked here for going to a huge party during a pandemic. Fucking idiots, the lot of you. And Redditor says, you're the arsehole, you're not in the relationship, it's not your place to judge whether she's a good girlfriend or not based on a single event. And one more from Reese saying, info, are you romantically interested in your friend? This sounds like a triangle where you're competing for his attention and trying to prove that you're better for him than she is. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story comes from Cold Cryptographer 78. Am I the arsehole for not adopting my foster daughter? Hi Reddit, I'm 37 female and I've been married to my husband for 12 years and we have an 11-year-old son, Jeremy. My husband and I have always wanted to adopt, but after we had Jeremy we wanted to focus on him. We felt about 2 years ago we could begin fostering, as it would be an ideal time to introduce the child. We met Jessica, female 9. She was 7 at the time and had been in the system since she was 3. She had moved between 3 houses in the last 2 years. It was really sad and she seemed to be going through a lot. We decided to take her in. She has been having difficulties with Jeremy ever since. She was very shy at first and he was outgoing. My husband and I have been working with a therapist for the last year and a half. She has made great progress. She has made friends and is doing well at school. Recently she has been calling us Mum and Dad, which makes my heart melt. While her relationship with us has been blooming, our son has had nothing but animosity with her. We no longer give him our undivided attention, and we do put a bit more into Jessica as she needs it. She needs to feel secure, and we won't just dump her. It comes to a point whenever he sees her, his eyes are filled with an intense hatred no one should ever have. It's bone chilling. Our relationship with our son has suffered as well. He is always in his room studying. He is 3 years ahead of where he should be, and gives us one-word answers and does not take part with us on family events. Before, we had weekly outings with him as a family. Now it's just us and Jessica while he goes to a friend's place. My son has always been close to his father's side. 2 months ago, after coming back from visiting them, we got an angry call from his grandparents. The next things we knew, my brother-in-law, his uncle, has moved into our neighbourhood. He is a successful investor and has always taken a liking to my son. He has even offered to pay for him to go to a private school from next year. My son and him are both academics, and he spends most of his time there. He even has his own room and sleeps the nights there. We've tried to become more assertive, but we are only met with more resistance. Sister-in-law and her family come and visit brother-in-law a lot, and they have family outings while completely ignoring us and our foster daughter. She even joked that if we kept this up, we're going to lose our parental rights. This really terrified me because she is a cutthroat lawyer who's even come on national news. My husband is buckling under the family pressure and wants our son back. We tried to ask him how to repair the relationship, but his only answer is she has to go. No therapy, nothing. We were recently approached by CPS to adopt her, and Jessica seems very keen on becoming our daughter. But as things stand now, we cannot, no matter how much we want to. My husband wants our son back, and he has been crying a lot. A friend of mine called me an arsehole for giving up Jessica, but I can't see another way. And we'll start off with Crowley Cross Jesus saying, "You're the arsehole, you failed your son and Jessica from the sounds of this. Never foster again. You aren't capable of providing a stable or healthy environment as things are. Never mind the complete lack of therapy your son should have already been in." And Let's Make Crazy Science says, "OP, you're the arsehole. It sounds like your fear of your sister-in-law is rooted in the fact that you've given her a case. You neglected your son and let him live with family members and take a backseat to Jessica. Now that you feel like that may have consequences, you're willing to even consider tossing aside a child with trauma who will likely be exceptionally traumatized by this rejection. I started out characterizing your son's behavior as almost tantrum-like, and your in-laws as enabling that behavior, but your replies and some other comments have kind of shifted my view. You'd let them raise your kid while you played rescue ranger, and now that's going to bite you in the ass. You've failed both of your children." And Shiramum4 says, "You're the arsehole for not putting a stop to this. Take your son in hand. No more trips to brother-in-law's house, mandatory therapy, supervised visits from the grandparents and other relatives in your home only, period. And if they break it, a restraining order. The kid is 11. His rights to leave your house, go on outings, go to the doctor, etc. lie solely with you. Just you and your husband. If necessary, adopt Jessica and move out of state with both kids, even if it's expensive. You are also failing Jessica. You've created a family and now want to send her back into the system because honestly you raised a spoiled brat of a son and constantly given into extended family pressure to allow him to do as he pleases." And one more from No Lascana saying, "Bloody hell. The title of this post is misleading as fuck. You're the arsehole, but not for not adopting her. Admitting you've messed up is one thing, but for fuck's sake, do not throw your toys out the pram now. You made your choice and invested all your time, love, and attention to a foster child you shouldn't have fostered. Adopt her. No, really. You've already ruined your relationship with your son. I mean, absolutely fucked up beyond all recognition. Ditch the girl, and if the replies in the comments are any indicator, you will pin the guilt and blame on your son. Don't ruin both of their lives. Too little, too late. Let your husband's family step up. If your uncle is a better father than your husband, then that, reading the replies, is your fucking fault. Your husband isn't weak letting his family raise your son. It's the best thing for him. I am so unbelievably enraged at how you wrote this post, how you responded to comments. I'm sorry, but you've made your bed. Lie in it. Let your son go to the private school and let his grandparents get him therapy. And keep the girl as far away from his therapy sessions as possible. He needs to be in a room one-on-one with each of you and your husband." How, and I mean how, you let it get this bad? Jesus, the therapist you hired is also incompetent. I mean, good lord. Now I turn this one to you guys. Absolutely crazy one there. But what is your thoughts on it? What do you think about the comments too? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And our next story is from Amo10. "Am I the arsehole for telling a woman that she needs to discipline her sons instead of warning me about them? I, 21 female, live near the beach and often go swimming in the morning. 99% of the time I'm the only person there and it's the only me time I get during the day. There's a condo overlooking the beach and a small shop nearby that I usually go to afterwards. On some occasions, I would notice a drone hovering in the vicinity while I was swimming or relaxing in the sun. I didn't think much of it because it was never really close. A few days ago, I went into the shop and a woman approached me. We made small talk and she told me that she lives in the condo with her family. Then she told me that she has 3 sons, aged 11, 12 and 13, who often wake up early to watch me swim. That was very weird and I really didn't know what to say. I never noticed anyone watching me from the windows/balcony. She went on to say that I've been distracting their kids and warned me that they were watching me with the drone. I was even more weirded out and told the woman that she should teach her sons that their actions are not acceptable. She just kept saying that they're going through puberty and that I shouldn't be surprised. Fuck. I told her that her attitude was disturbing and that she should discipline her children instead of warning me about them. She was very offended when I said this and insisted that they're well behaved. She said that I should stop coming to the beach if I feel uncomfortable. Apparently her husband also agrees that I probably shouldn't be going there as I'm causing their kids to be distracted. I told her that they should focus on becoming decent parents instead of telling strangers what to do. She got angry that I criticised their parenting, or lack thereof, told me to show respect and that I don't know what I'm talking about since I'm not a mother raising 3 boys. Am I the arsehole? Now it's one of these ones I think, why would the mother do this? Approach the person that her boys are creeping on and say, my boys are creeping on you. You shouldn't go there anymore. It's just like, sort your kids out, man. And I'm not laughing at what they're doing. I'm just laughing at the ridiculousness of what that mum is, even the path she's even going down, because this behavior could escalate in the future. At the minute, their mum is just normalizing this behavior and just saying, yeah, you crack on, boys will be boys, and all that kind of stuff, which is just totally not on. Spying on someone with a drone is just creepy behavior, and it needs to be sorted out ASAP. You can't be using puberty as an excuse to just do whatever you want and creep on people. It's disgusting. And again, it's one of those ones where she could use it as a great teaching moment for a boy and say, this behavior isn't acceptable and this is why. For OP though, take something with you and just throw it at the drone, knock it out the sky. And Servant of Bosco says, and this is why sometimes people shoot down drones. Not the arsehole. And Downvoted Lizard says, definitely not the arsehole. This woman thinks it's normal and okay for her teenage sons to creep on a woman, then has the nerve to tell you it's your fault and you shouldn't go to a public beach. Sounds like she's a huge arsehole. And Soda B says, not the arsehole. You might want to check if what they are doing is even legal. Airspace is regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration. They have an app called Before You Fly that you can use to look up where drones can and cannot fly in your area. You can probably report the drone if it's causing disturbance, being flown recklessly, or if it's in violation of state privacy laws. Especially when you know where they live as well. But Consideration says, not the arsehole, and that is scary and the mother doesn't want to teach her boys respect. And Booty Damage 420 says, not the arsehole. It is not boys will be boys, it's boys will be held accountable for their actions. They're clearly misogynist, blaming you for their kids' poor behaviour. And one more from Jade Echo says, as the mother of 2 boys, absolutely not the arsehole. Puberty isn't an excuse for terrible action. It's a pivotal point to teach these children not to be effing creeps. She should be teaching them that you are a real person and not some centerfold there for their amusement. And holy hell, take the effing drone away. There's no reason they should still have access to their creepy spy device if she knows about it. This mum's boys will be boys attitude creates the kind of environment that leads to much worse transgressions as they age. If she keeps this up, she'd be crying to the news that while her husband complains his poor baby can't even enjoy steak anymore since he assaulted a girl and people found out about it. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this story and what would you do in it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now once again guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy today's stories, and if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. As always, I cannot express how much it really does help out this channel, extremely does. And if you want to support the channel further, you absolutely can, but as always, never any pressure to do so by clicking that join button down below for YouTube or clicking the link in the description for Patreon and joining up there. Thank you so much for your love, support and time, and I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love.